Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is Friday the 31st. It's 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Central. As every day here, we're live with Gabi, Natalia. And today it's Friday, people. We are gonna lighten up. Today, this is the topic that I want to discuss with you. How is your romantic life going? Now in quarantine, we're in quarantine. I want to hear about you. Where are you? Where are you watching us from? And also, we're going to talk about how your romantic life is doing. Is your romantic life right now, stronger than ever? Maybe you are with your significant other, with your husband, with your wife, or your boyfriend, girlfriend, and you're missing each other if you live in different homes, or you are closer than ever because you're spending more quality time, or is your relationship holding on by a thread? Maybe you have found out there's some infidelity, somebody's cheating. We are going to have somebody who knows a lot about that come just in just a minute with us. But this is how we're going to start today's show. Couples in quarantine, are they stronger now or holding by a thread? This is what we're going to talk about, and this is how this show today starts right now.
There has never been a better time to be a pioneer than right now.
To the dreamers, to the rebels, to the ones that wake up every day and do not allow anyone to define their capabilities. Diversity is beautiful. Thank you. Buen día, aquí en live con Gabi Natalia, and I'm going to share with you a personal story. Sometimes, I've been in quarantine with my husband, both of us alone, for now, I don't know, 4 months. I lost count. And so since we are spending so much time in our home, one of the ideas that we have is, why don't we do some upgrades? Why don't we do some kitchen upgrades? And so we started discussing what kind of upgrades we could do, since we're spending so much time at home, and like the kitchen is kind of old. It's the same kitchen that came with the house when we bought it, and it's kind of old-fashioned. So we started thinking about what kind of improvements we could do, and everything was peace, love, and harmony up until we started discussing what choices we wanted for that freaking kitchen. And so when we started discussing, one wanted one color, the other one wanted another color, one upgrade, the other upgrade, and I felt, in all honesty, that I was being really reasonable and that I was being really flexible with my discussions on aesthetic choices for my kitchen. But 2 days ago, I was in my phone and I received a message from my husband that says there's a new show in HGTV. You should not miss it. I just learned about it. And he sent me the image for that show, and I'm going to share it with you. This is the image that I received. So the image that I received was this is what happens. This is what happens when two producers marry and they have a fight. They come up with a fake show just to make the point come straight. So he invented this show, Kitchen Mussolini. Basically, I'm the perfect host for that kitchen because I am an authoritarian wife. And she says she will get what she wants or you are dead. So this was my husband telling me, okay, enough is enough. Maybe you are too intense with all this kitchen preparation and all this kitchen debate. And I got the message and I kind of toned it down. But I know this is quite a challenge for every couple now in quarantine. And I said that we're going to talk with a specialist. We're going to talk with someone who really knows what is going on in couples nowadays. He is the most famous private detective in the United States, a star in the hit show Cheaters, and now he's going to spill the beans, let us know what is really happening inside homes across the Americas because the cheating now has changed in the middle of quarantine. So we want to know what is happening. Are couples, coming closer together? Are couples cheating now more than ever? Or are they just holding on by a thread? Bienvenido, nuestro querido Detective Gomez. How are you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. So, for everybody tuning in today, tell us what you do that is very specific, very special, what you've been working on, and what is your question today for the Ask Gabby segment?
Okay, well, I'm a private investigator. I'm licensed here in the state of Texas, and I've been a private investigator for over 23 years now. And during my investigations, I specialize in infidelity and cheating spouses.
So,
And
Detective Gomez, you're not here as an ambush to tell me any news about my husband, right?
no, I haven't been contracted to watch him just yet. So hopefully, he's being a good guy.
Okay. Just need to take that out of my system.
Yes, not yet, of course. Hopefully, he's a good guy. I think he is. I think he'll be okay.
Okay.
Right now, but you never know.
So, tell us about yourself, yes.
Okay, so I've been a private investigator for over 23 years. I've been the lead detective for the TV show Cheater for over 20 years. And what I do as a private investigator, I do all kinds of investigations, but specialize in infidelity. And through the years, I mean, there's, right now I'm working on, there's still people cheating during the coronavirus thing. There's still people doing all kinds of crazy things. Actually right now I'm trying to help people out with an online course on how to catch cheaters on their own. And I'll be coming out with a book sometime in November.
Fantastic. So everybody please follow at Detective Gomez. He's going to give you all the one-on-one to catch these cheaters. But I want to know right now, you have a question for the Ask Gabby segment. What is your question, Detective Gomez?
My question is, why, I've noticed now that more women are cheating. It used to be that men were constantly being accused of cheating, but I see more women cheating. And I'd like to know why more women are cheating on their husbands now, or spouses, or fiancés, whatever it may be. But there's more women cheating in their relationships. That's what I'd like to know. Why?
Oh my God. Well, first of all, I don't know if there are more women cheating or not. I mean, you are the specialist on that. But something that I think is very interesting is that I feel that during this time in quarantine, it's a time where truth is coming out to the light, whatever that means. Who's your friend? Who's not a real friend? Who really cares about you? Who's not gonna be there for you? And I think part of this process of truths coming out on the air, it's like if you have a lie or a big lie, like you're cheating, to your spouse, it's harder and harder, to keep that lie, in a secret, because we're spending time with each other, much more time. There's not the excuse of the travel, the business travel, or the conference across the country, or whatever. And so, I think that now more than ever, and you are the expert, I think it's harder and harder to be a cheater and not get caught. What's your take on that?
I think you're correct on that. I think that, the more time you
show me, detective, show me your eyes. I know those glasses are very cool, but show me your eyes.
the more time you spend with somebody, and that's with anybody, because at the end of the day, we're all human beings. And sooner or later, I mean, I remember having a roommate a long time ago, and I just got tired of him all the time. So you can imagine being married with, a female, and sooner or later, you just get tired of being around that person. So if you were involved in a relationship before the quarantine started, you have to keep that relationship going. So you got to sneak around to the bathroom and text somebody. You've got to go outside, make a phone call. You got to go work on the car. You got to find some way to get out of the house and be legitimate about it and try to cover it up to continue the relationship.
Yeah, it's just your only way out now is say I'm going to the groceries. So, but if you have delivery, then you're in trouble.
Right. That's the thing about that. Yeah, no, you're right, because at the end of the day, there's a word called time. Okay, when somebody cheats on somebody, they have to make time for the other person, not you, the other person, and the other person is expecting you to spend time with them. So sooner or later, you've got to lie and get out of the house to spend time with the other person. And it comes down to spending time. At the end of the day, you've got to spend time with the other person. You can call, text all you want, but they want that physical time. So you got to find some way to get away from your significant other and get out.
So, what are the signals that somebody's cheating on you? So, you are an expert on this. What do we have to pay attention to?
I would pay attention to listen. Just listen to them. You know your spouse, you know how they are, and you know when they're acting different. Now, women have something called women's intuition, and the men like to call it gut feeling. We have that gut feeling. But pay attention to their behavior, and when you notice something, don't act on it immediately. Pay attention, listen to them and say, okay, this doesn't sound like my husband. He sounds a little different. And then they'll be more distant in the relationship. They'll start separating themselves.
In concrete things, what we have to pay attention, if there's more than one phone, that somebody's keeping more than one phone, what kind of things in the everyday life can we?
I've seen a lot of spouses right now, because they can't get out of the house, they'll take a shower for 3 hours or 2 hours, because
they are cleaner than ever.
Right. Yeah, because they're in there texting and sending message and photos to the other person. Now, a lot of people now have locks on their phones, and if you don't know the passcode, there's no way to get in. But I had a lady the other night that her husband didn't have a lock on her phone, and she gave her husband some tea with some sleeping powder in it or something like that, knocked him out.
That's not legal.
She went through his phone and got all the messages. So there's different ways to do it. That's the way she did it, but there's different ways to do it if you want to find out what's going on. But at the end of the day, most of my clients, they'll see text messages, but especially us Latinos, they want to find out who the girl is, where does she live, and of course they always want a picture of the other woman to compare them against themselves.
To compare. So are Latinos, because I know I'm a Latina and we have a huge Latino audience, do you think Latinos are more or less cheaters than the rest of the population?
Let's just say they're more passionate about it. They're more, the Latinos,
they put more work into it?
They put a lot of work into it. They do. They really, because they do it. They go all out. They'll buy cars for the other person, and they'll do this and do this. I had a guy not too long ago who, he actually hired me to check on his girlfriend, not his wife, but his girlfriend. He lived here in Dallas, but he had a wife in Corpus Christi. So, they want to make sure that their other person is doing the right thing.
The person that they are cheating their wife with is being faithful, basically.
Right.
So Facebook users, Facebook people say, holding by a thread over here. Yes, many people. It's a test. It's a test for many couples, this one. So what is the craziest, weirdest thing that ever happened to you working as a private detector and catching cheaters?
The craziest thing that ever happened to me, I got hired to fly to Florida to work on a case in Lando Lakes, Florida. And my client had put me in a hotel because this is where her husband had been taking this girl. I won't mention the name of the hotel, but she didn't tell me it was a nudist resort. And so I had to work undercover with no clothes on, trying to catch the guy cheating. But she didn't explain to me that this nudist resort was a nudist resort for elderly people.
No.
So sadly to say, when I got to the hotel, I saw a lot of people running around between, nothing against elderly people, but there were like 75, 80 years old running around completely naked. That was kind of hard for my eyes to see all that at one time.
Well, we all have the same. At the end of the day, we all have the same.
Yeah, it was just kind of hard to see a naked man riding a bike with no clothes on. That was kind of hard on my eyes. Yeah.
So, what to close this conversation and give people tools, first of all, I want everybody to follow Detective Gomez and also check out his there's a new course that is going to come, how to catch cheaters, right?
Yes, I'm going to release that probably in mid-August. You can go to my website, detectivegomez.com, and all the information's there. But like I said, at the end of the day, the most important thing is time. Pay attention to time. They've got to get away from the house or get away from you at some time or another and spend time with the other person. Pay attention to that, narrow that down, and catch them.
The time, the phone, and the 3-hour showers, that will be a signal. Yes.
There you go. That's fair. Yeah,
I'm going to
yeah.
pay attention. Thank you so much, Detective
So
Gomez,
welcome.
for joining us today. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have you here. And people, today was Friday. I just wanted to keep it casual, keep it fun. How are your relationships doing? Are they stronger? Are they holding by a thread? Will you need to hire a private investigator like Detective Gomez to figure out what's going on in your home? I'm gonna leave that to you, but I just want to wish you all the best. Start your day with the best energy. Even in difficult times, wonderful things can happen. Remember that every day. I'm here every weekday at 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, in live with Gaby Natale. Nos despedimos. ¡Mua! Besitos. Thank you so much for joining today.